On a map of the Middle East, Israel is a microscopic sliver of land. At just over 22,000 square kilometers, its entire territory is dwarfed by the massive nations that border it. Even that limited space is compromised. Over half of the country's footprint is consumed by the Negev Desert, an arid, inhospitable landscape where natural survival is difficult. Beyond the climate, the state has been defined by geopolitical friction, locked in a cycle of military conflict with its neighbors since its modern inception. Look at the data mapped against this tiny footprint. On one side, you have minimal land and water. On the other, the markers for literacy, life expectancy, and GDP per capita tower over many of the world's largest economies. This raises a specific question. How does a nation burdened by these environmental limitations and constant historical threats engineer itself into a global heavyweight? To understand this growth, we have to look at the country's success as a direct economic response to that vacuum of resources. To sustain a population of 10 million people, you need a massive amount of fresh water, a resource that simply doesn't exist naturally in a semi-arid climate. The response to this shortage was the invention of drip irrigation. Instead of flooding fields, engineers designed networks of hoses to deliver precise amounts of water directly to the base of individual plants, maximizing yield in dry soil. For drinking water, the state turned to the Mediterranean Sea. They constructed industrial-scale desalination plants that filter salt from marine water, artificially generating the country's primary drinking supply. They extract value even where life cannot exist. The Dead Sea is the lowest point on Earth. Its hypersaline water makes marine life impossible, but that exact chemistry supports massive mineral extraction and global tourism industries. Further north, the Sea of Galilee serves as the nation's primary freshwater reservoir. Its preservation is treated as a matter of absolute national security. By treating environmental scarcity as an engineering problem, the state solved its own water crisis and then sold those solutions to the rest of the world, creating a massive water tech export industry. The drive to engineer solutions extends to the nation's borders. Following a United Nations plan, the state was officially declared in May 1948, which immediately triggered regional war. The psychological baseline of the country was forged in the aftermath of the Holocaust. This created an ingrained existential awareness that survival requires constant vigilance. That vigilance is routinely tested. From the wars of 1948 and 1967 to current conflicts, the region remains defined by military clashes and scarred landscapes. Enduring constant aerial threats required automated countermeasures. That pressure produced the Iron Dome, an air defense system built to calculate trajectories and intercept hostile rockets in real time. Because military service is mandatory, much of the adult population passes through this high-stress environment. The military acts as an incubator, creating a workforce trained to solve complex problems under extreme pressure. When these citizens finish their military service, they take their technical training into the civilian sector. This creates a concentrated pipeline of talent flowing into Silicon Wadi, the country's primary tech ecosystem. The high-tech sector, specifically software, cybersecurity, and medical technology, now dominates the national GDP. The footprint of this tech is global. Software like the Waze navigation app, advanced driver assist cameras in your car, and vital medical imaging systems all originated in this narrow strip of land. Lacking the oil or timber reserves of its neighbors, the country's primary commodity became its engineered human capital. Yet focusing strictly on data and defense systems masks the deep physical dichotomy of the country. In Jerusalem, the density of sacred history is unparalleled. The Western Wall remains a remnant of the ancient temple and the most sacred site of prayer for the Jewish faith. Sharing that exact same skyline is the Dome of the Rock. Capped in gold, it serves as the third holiest site in Islam. Within the same ancient walls lies the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, venerated by millions as the site of the crucifixion and resurrection of Jesus. Drive an hour to the coast, and the ancient stones are replaced by secular modernism. Tel Aviv is defined by its White City, a sprawling collection of functional architecture inspired by the Bauhaus movement. Today, those coastal streets sit beneath a cluster of high-rise towers, acting as the financial engine of the state. But this rapid economic rise has generated severe wealth inequality between tech workers and the rest of the population. The cost of living remains high, and the ongoing geopolitical conflicts exact a tragic human toll. Israel remains a complex geopolitical case study in how intense pressure and a lack of resources can drive technological advancement, even as it leaves a massive footprint on the global stage.